plunge headlong into the swirling sands of time as we journey back to the 7th century, to the pulsating heart of the Persian Empire. We're here to not just explore, but to relive the legendary tale of Rostam Farrokhzad, a Persian general who wielded immense influence and power during the Arab invasions of Iran. Rostam Farrokhzad, a name that resonates with and valor in the annals of Persia, was not just a man, he was a symbol of unyielding resistance. Join us as we delve into the epic battle of Qadisiyeh, where his strategic genius was brought to the fore. The battlefield, a relentless inferno of clashing steel and thundering hooves, echoing with the roars of valiant soldiers. Rostam's forces, though heavily outnumbered, fought with the ferocity of lions. Their steeled, their spirits unbroken, they charged ahead, writing an unforgettable chapter of bravery and resistance in the encrusted blood and dirt of the battlefield. This wasn't just a war. It was a testament to the indomitable human spirit, a saga of courage and defiance that has been etched in history, personified in the life and sacrifice of Rostam Farrokhzad. In a time of profound peace and abundance, Rostam led a life of privilege, and our story takes root in the cradle of ancient Persia, where Rostam Farrokhzad, a vibrant young boy, was nurtured amidst tranquility and prosperity. Born to a nobleman, Rostam was blessed with the opportunities of education and leisure, but complacency was never his nature. Rather, he was a youth of vigor, fueled by an intense aspiration to serve his people and his homeland. His military strategy and combat grew in tandem with his age, sparked by his father's war stories of courage and heroism. Rostam absorbed himself in the arts of warfare, mastering the skill of the sword, the bow, and the horse. His quick grasp and unwavering dedication transformed him into a skilled warrior at an early age. His prowess on the battlefield didn't go unnoticed. The Persian army's high command saw his potential and welcomed him in. Rostam served with distinction, earning the esteem of his peers and superiors through his bravery and skill. A swift rise through the ranks led him become a general, safeguarding the Persian Empire. But even amidst his military duties, Rostam cherished the arts. He was a man of culture, a fan of poetry and music, a supporter of the arts. He trusted in the power of language and used his influence to encourage an intellectual conversation. His court was a lighthouse for scholars and artists, a symbol of wisdom in a world often cast in the shadows of warfare. However, beneath this peaceful facade, the tides were turning. The winds were shifting, carrying whispers of impending war. The tranquil environment was gradually being replaced with anticipation and tension. With the coming storm, Rostam, the esteemed general of Persia, was on the brink of facing his most significant test yet. As the winds of time changed, so did Rostam's destiny. As the first rays of dawn split the inky veil of night, the quietude of the Persian Empire was violently ruptured by the thunderous echoes of the Arab invasions. The tranquil canopy of peace that had once sprawled over the realm was brutally torn apart and replaced by the tumultuous symphony of war cries, the clang of armor, and the shrill whistles of arrows slicing through the air. A time of heroes and villains, of bravery and treachery had dawned upon the land. At forefront of the Persian forces was the formidable general, Rostam Farrokhzad, a paragon of courage and tactical acumen. Rostam was the lighthouse amid the storm for his people during these turbulent times. He was the living embodiment of Persia's valor, the stalwart defender of his homeland against the tempest that lurked ominously on the horizon. The early battles were brutal, marked by the wrath of and the raw courage of men. Astride his towering warhorse, Rostam led his warriors with a passion that blazed brighter than the desert sun. Each clash of swords rang out their fierce determination. Each arrow launched was a testament to their unyielding resolve. The Arab forces were a formidable adversary, their numbers as vast as the sea. But the Persians, with spirits as unbreakable as their shields, met them head-on. Rostam's legendary might in battle was akin to a roaring tempest. His sword sliced through the enemy ranks with the deadly precision of a hawk diving for its prey. However, he was more than just a warrior. He was a master tactician, fully aware that sheer force alone could not secure victory. He needed to outsmart his adversaries, exploit the chinks in their armor, disrupt their well-orchestrated formations. Each battle to him was a high-stakes game of chess, and Rostam, the seasoned player, always seemed to be several moves ahead. Yet the capricious nature of war often turns tides, favoring one side and then swaying towards the other. Despite the valor and resilience of Rostam and his warriors, the boundless Arab forces relentlessly pressed forward, matching the Persians in resolve and tenacity. It was evident that the resolution of this conflict would not be quick or easy. This was a war of attrition, a grueling trial endurance and willpower. The initial skirmishes were merely the overture to the grand symphony of war soon to unfold. Each battle, each duel, was a step closer to the inescapable face-off. The stage was being meticulously prepared for a clash of titans, a battle that would indelibly etch itself into the annals of the Persian Empire. And thus, the battleground was laid for one of the most pivotal confrontations in Persian history. The Battle of the Bridge was an epic confrontation, with Rostam taking the helm against the invading adversaries with the vigor of a mighty lion. This intense struggle, marked by the violence of a tempest and an unwavering resolve echoing 1,000 suns, served as a testament to the resolute spirit of warrior Rostam and his valiant men. At the forefront of this battle was Rostam, the Sword of Persia, unfolding a strategy as crafty as it was daring. The bridge became the strategic focal point, with Rostam ingeniously positioning archers and spearmen on it to take full advantage of the constriction it offered. This shrewd use of terrain was his key to enabling his comparatively smaller force to fortify their position against the superior strength of the enemy. As the tension of the impending battle saturated the air, the sound bowstrings being drawn and the clashing of steel were the only disruptions. The Persian archers, synchronized in their efforts like a grand chorus in a symphony of war, unleashed their arrows in harmonious volleys, resulting in a lethal downpour on the adversaries. In contrast, the spearmen, forming the unyielding backbone of Rostam's force, stalwartly held their ground. Their spears stood tall like a defiant forest against the enemy's ferocious onslaught. Their fighting spirit fierce and belied their actual numbers, each warrior becoming an impenetrable wall against the surge of invaders. Yet despite their gallant efforts, the invaders were unyielding. Relentless waves of them crashed against Rostam's forces, pushing them back incrementally. The bridge, initially a symbol of Rostam's strategic brilliance, turned into a monument of their desperate struggle. The day concluded not with a victory, but with a valiant standoff. Outnumbered and outmatched, Rostam and his men did not waver in their resolve. Their courage transcended the confines of the battlefield, epitomizing their indomitable spirit and unwavering allegiance. Though the battle was lost, Rostam's bravery and skill were undeniable. His name became a symbol of courage and tenacity. The Battle of the Bridge, despite being a defeat, turned into a grand stage where Rostam's indomitable spirit was on full display for the world to witness. Faced with insurmountable odds, Rostam took his final stand at the Battle of Qadisiyeh. This was more than just a clash of titanic empires, cultures, and military strategies. This was the ultimate testament to Rostam Farrokhzad's undying spirit. More than a battle, this was his fight for the very soul of Persia. Rostam, icon of bravery and tactical brilliance, commanded his Persian forces with an unwavering resolve and a courageous heart. His warriors, resplendent in their battle armor, armed with sharp swords and sturdy spears, stood tall and proud by his side, ready to confront their foes. Despite being outnumbered, their spirits remained unbroken. They courageously fought, not just for their homeland, but for their heritage, their identity, their very existence. The battle was an all-encompassing storm of swords, spears, and arrows. Amid this tempestuous dance of death under the relentless desert sun, Rostam, mounted on his faithful steed, was the shining of hope. His sword glided through the air like a scythe parting wheat. His voice resonated over the cacophony of battle, inspiring his men to fight on, to hold their ground, to never yield. But even the most gallant of warriors can stumble. Rostam, battling with unyielding fierceness until his final breath, faced his downfall on that fateful day. His demise marked a sorrowful end to a heroic stand, a loss etched deeply in the hearts of his men and his people. However, even in his demise, Rostam was not vanquished. His spirit persisted, his legacy eternally enshrined in the annals of history and revered in the hearts of his people. His last stand wasn't a defeat, but a resounding declaration of the bravery, tenacity, and unyielding spirit of the Persian people. His life, his battles, his sacrifice stand as a vivid reminder of the price of liberty, the expenditure of defending one's homeland, one's people, one's heritage. Though he met a tragic end, Rostam's legacy persists, a tribute to the unyielding spirit of Persian people. His name reverberates through the ages, a symbol of resistance, of bravery, of unyielding spirit, a beacon of hope for all those who dare to face overwhelming odds. Rostam Farrokhzad, a name rooted deeply in the annals of history, symbolizes the unyielding resistance that defines a hero of Persia. His vibrant presence weaves through the grand tapestry of time, with a legend as resilient as the ancient lands he fiercely protected. His existence, an epic tale of courage and defiance, is mirror reflecting the indomitable spirit of Persia. Rostam's battles were not simply encounters of steel and fire, but decisive moments that sculpted the fate of a nation. His sword, swinging with purpose, was the brush that illustrated the chronicles of Persia, and each released arrow was born from his steadfast resolve. Contemplate his ultimate stand at the Battle of the Bridge. Despite being vastly outnumbered, an undaunted Rostam rallied his troops, defending not just their lives, but the very essence of Persia. His bravery shines through history, standing defiantly against overwhelming odds, radiating resilience and fortitude. In the vast narrative of Persian history, Rostam's life and battles serve as a constant reminder of the nation's enduring spirit. A spirit that defies surrender, standing tall amidst adversity, fighting relentlessly regardless of the price to pay. Rostam Farrokhzad, a name that echoes inspiration, resonates power, and reminds us of the strength of the human spirit. His story is not just a chapter in Persian history, but a testament to the unwavering will of humanity to resist, to survive, and to prevail. As we transition back to our era, let the tale of Rostam's exploits embolden us, rekindling the enduring strength of the human spirit when faced with adversity.